Hey, hello friends, welcome back to IWJ or Invest with Jerry. This is the second video of my educational series on booming sector ETFs. So just before starting, I would like to give some details about some basic details about ETFs. So ETFs are baskets or buckets of stock. They will have a nominal fees. They are either actively managed or passively managed. So passively managed ETFs are those which fund managers are not actively managing or actively buying or selling stocks. Instead, they will be allocating certain portion into certain stocks and then holding it for a time period. And actively managed ETFs are mainly like Cathie Wood ETFs, ARK ETFs. So those are like they regularly buy and sell stocks, and they publish their transactions like on a day-to-day basis to the public. Also, ETFs are market weighted or equal weighted. So market weighted ETFs will have company stocks allocated depending on their market valuation. So basically, a higher market valued company will have a higher share in a market weighted ETF. On the other hand, equal weighted ETFs are like if you have 10 stocks in an ETF, each stock will get an allocation percentage of 10. So that is all with ETFs. I had created a video previously about ETFs and a bit in-depth analysis for ETFs. So if you have missed that video, please feel free to go to that video. I have put the link in the description. So let's go to our next booming play. So our next play in booming sector is renewable energy. As we have already discussed related to electric vehicles, the Biden administration is heavily advocating green energy. So there is like lot of green energy projects which is initiated, as well as there is lot of incentives from the government to bring up green energy to most of the offices. One of the news I have noticed recently is JP Morgan Chase started to move into green energy spaces. So you can see JP Morgan Chase and Brookfield Renewable launched collaboration to power over 500 offices and branches in New York with 100% renewable electricity. So this is a move which we have seen across industries, across countries, across continents also. So this is very bullish for all the companies which are in the solar, wind, renewable natural gas, and all those industries. So instead of again going and picking up one of the stocks or like couple of stocks and going to ride the volatility of those stocks, I would prefer rather to go into one of these ETFs, which is like a bucket of all the solar energy, like renewable stocks, and ride the momentum with these ETFs. So I'll take one of these ETFs again, and I'll go in detail for one of them, and I'll just compare the chart for both of them. Okay, so I have gone to the ETF page in Yahoo Finance for TAN. So that is Invesco Solar ETF. So you can again check 1 year or a 5 year chart. It looks a beautiful chart. So you can see it was consolidating for more than a year, more than 2-3 years, and then finally at 1 year back, you can see the push which it was getting. So again, US also joined back to Paris Climate Agreement. So all those things are bullish. Especially Biden is very much into green energy and renewable energy. So yes, so let's go to the holdings. So yeah, so from the difference in percentages for each of these holdings, we should understand this is a market weighted ETF. So Enphase Energy, which is a micro inverter creator, which is going on very well for the company for some time now. So that's their main holding. So looks like Enphase is the biggest market cap holder in this particular ETF. Then we have some other company, GCL Energy Holdings. I don't know about that. Maybe it looks like not a US company. SolarEdge is another US company. Daco Energy is again in US. Sunrun. First Solar is more like, I believe it's a Canadian company, SunPower Corporation. So basically it has an international exposure, which is again good. This will actually help to reduce the risk. So even if some of the US stocks are going down, sometimes the international stocks tend to stay stable. So this ETF is a passively managed ETF, which means the stocks in the ETF does not change that frequent. Very rarely it will change, and they will reallocate them probably in every quarter or 6 months. So basically, it's a passively managed ETF. Yeah. So now let's go to the chart for TAN, and the other one is ICLN. So TAN represents the blue line, and ICLN represents the green line. So this chart is actually a percentage chart, so which means like it will show the comparison between the change in percentages for each of the stock. So you can see in March, by March and April, it was like at 3.99%, and if you look throughout this chart, both of them were moving together till probably 6th June of 2020, and you can see TAN has moved a bit up, and it has gapped up, or like it has overperformed the ICLN green energy ETF. So it's good to know. So again, you can see it has gone up really to 359% for TAN and 169% for ICLN, and it has come down reasonably. Again, if you're bullish on this sector, maybe you can start averaging it down, and if it goes down, you can average it even further. So that's all with solar ETFs. So let's go to the next one. So our next booming sector is 5G play. So as every one of us know, 5G is like a very strong sector. So a lot of things are happening because of 5G. The speed of internet has enormously changed over the years. So let's see what is the reasoning for the booming sector 5G play. So world is already moving on with high definition videos. Yes, videos streaming, even the YouTube channel which I am running and you are watching, and everything is going on like pretty much in real time. Transactions are happening, ultra high speed internet, then again artificial intelligence, robotics, so many things are going on. So the base of all this is actually 5G. So let's see some of the 5G ETF plays. So one of them is SMH, which is more like a semiconductor play. Then we have NXTG. I believe it's next gen ETF, and then there's a 5G ETF. So we'll check the 5G ETF in a bit in detail, and then we'll just compare the charts. So the 5G ETF is actually defines 5G next gen connectivity ETF. So the value of the ETF is 35.01 as of today. You can see the net assets is around 1.1 billion. And let's see what all are the holdings. So coming down, you can see again, you can see the percentages differ. So again, this should be a market weighted ETF. So you can see 5% is allocated to NXPI analog devices. Looks like this is ERIC or Ericsson. Then we have Qualcomm, good, it's a really good company. Xilinx, Keysight Technology, Skyworks Solutions, a really good 5G play. Nokia, AT&T, we all know what AT&T does. Akamai Technologies. So yeah, so again, this looks like a promising set of stocks. Even I do have some of these stocks in my portfolio. So this is actually a market weighted ETF, and this is again a passively managed ETF. You can see passive management approach to track the total return of performance. So this means the management is not actively selling or buying stocks on a day-to-day basis, which is fine. They will just buy it and hold it for a time period. Again, I have to say this, for each and every ETFs you are going to invest, just go to their investment page, ETF page, and then check what is the fees you will have to pay for the ETFs. Now let's go and compare the three ETFs we have today for 5G play. So okay, so now we have the chart here. So you can see SMH, which is a semiconductor ETF. It's a blue line. We have NXTG, which is like the green one, which is actually the bottommost one, and the FI5G ETF, which is the orange one. So you can see the comparison charts. It actually shows. I would probably add one more comparison to here. So that is the SPY. So this is another good comparison to make. So let's mark this as black. So SPY is actually the S&P 500 tracking ETF. S&P 500, as all of you know, it is comprised of the 500 of the best companies in US. It's not easy to get listed into the S&P 500. You need to have certain criteria to get into ETFs. You have to have certain market cap. You have to have profitability over the last 4 quarters. So there are like a lot of pretty good rules. So basically, if you do not have any idea about the market, just put your money into SPY is what a lot of analysts tell you. So we can see how SPY is performing comparatively to these ETFs, and that actually shows you the bullishness of the sector as well. So SPY is the black one. You can see it's below all of these. The second from the last is NXTG. The third from the last is 5G, and you can see SMH, or the semiconductor ETF, has outperformed like on a very big gap compared to all three things. So if you're bullish on 5G, probably SMH is another good sector to start averaging in for a long run. So even if you take a 5-year chart, you can see how well it has done. So you can see the percentage of SMH is at 24% here. It has gone up all over the year. It is going up, and finally it is broken out in this year. Because due to coronavirus and all those things, we have seen there is a lot of acceleration to digital economy, digital work from homes, 5G, and lot of things. So that is all for our 5G ETF. So let's go to our next booming play ETF. So our next bullish play ETF is Bitcoin or digital currency play. So I believe all of you will be interested in Bitcoin or digital currency. So we know that how or what is the history of digital coin, how it came to the market, and then how it has boomed in I think in 2016 and went down all the way. And then again now it's a booming time for Bitcoin. And unlike the first time, now like a lot of institutional money is flowing into the Bitcoins, and more like digital currency sector is all time bullish. I do not have high conviction for a Bitcoin play, but I do want to ride the momentum alongside with the bullishness in the market for digital currency. I have even seen big banks like JP Morgan Chase and Bank of America trying to get some exposure into the digital currency. So those kind of things show that there's like a lot of bullishness in the sector. Also, we have seen news like big companies like Square, PayPal, MicroStrategy, Tesla has even put a lot of their cash reserves into Bitcoin. So this shows a lot of base to the Bitcoin theory. Again, I do not buy Bitcoin directly by buying the Bitcoin currency or any other currency like Ethereum or Litecoin or anything like that. But instead, I do play with some of the ETFs. So these ETFs are like it's an indirect play for Bitcoin, and it includes other companies which are actually related to Bitcoin. So I feel this is a safer play for me. So I would get a bit of exposure to Bitcoin, as well as I do get a little less risky than directly investing into Bitcoin. So these three are the Bitcoin plays. I believe GBTC is a pure play on Bitcoin, which means it directly invests into Bitcoin. BLCN and BLOK are more like into digital currencies, and they also do have companies which do the Bitcoin mining, and the companies which facilitates for Bitcoin mining. For example, Nvidia, Nvidia is one of the chip makers. So they do have a particular kind of chip which is mainly for Bitcoin mining. BLCN and GBTC, I would do the little bit detailed analysis on that. Let's see. So BLCN is actually Siren Nasdaq Next Gen Economy ETF. So it's at $51.67 today. So let's see the holdings for that one. Yeah, so we do have JD.com, Alibaba, Microsoft, Square, International Business Machines, Baidu, Tencent, Digital Garage, Galaxy Digital, GMO Internet. So from these holdings, what I understand is this is not only a Bitcoin play, it's more like a digital currency play. So basically, a lot of these companies are into digital wallets and like digital transactions and all those things. So that is one way. It's kind of an indirect play to digital currency, not Bitcoin direct. So I believe it's a passively managed ETF. But one thing I would like to show you here is like it looks like this is more like an equal weighted ETF. So far we have seen in market weighted ETF. This is what an equal weighted ETF will look like. You can see all these holdings are like around 1.9%, 1.8%, 1.7, 1.6, 1.6, 1.7. So it's pretty much equally distributed holdings. I kind of like these kind of equal weighted ETFs a bit than the market weighted ETFs. Now let's take a look at GBTC. So this is Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. It's not exactly like an ETF. It's actually a company which invests its money into the Bitcoin Trust. So you do not have the holdings chart or other things, but let's see the price comparisons are related to Bitcoin. So 1 year chart, you can see what happened, and let's see the 5 year chart. Yeah, you can see it is actually tracking the Bitcoin prices. So Bitcoin was at 20,000 in December of 2017, and it came down, tried to go up, and again it came down, and finally it's at 50 when Bitcoin is around 54,000. So this is another play you can play if you're really bullish on Bitcoin, and I believe this is a very direct play to Bitcoin, unlike the BLOK and BLCN ETFs. So you can see now the three charts. 2017, I believe only GBTC was there. GBTC is a blue line. BLOK and BLCN looks like is started after 2018. So you can see the comparative charts. So looks like GBTC is the winner here. just followed by BLOK. BLOK has also done pretty decent. You can see the percentages that was like mind-blowing percentage, 9,281 percentage for Bitcoin GBTC and 7,000 percentage for BLOK, and BLCN is like little behind, but it's at 6,000 percentage. So all are like very good return for your investment. So if you're bullish on Bitcoin and do not want to play direct Bitcoin, you can take BLOK or BLCN. Otherwise, you can try for GBTC. I have also picked up another special ETF. So this is more for lithium ion batteries. So as electric vehicles are moving forward, the battery side of business is also booming really well. So instead of going and searching for lithium companies or battery specific companies, it will be really good idea to play the ETF. So let's go to one of those again. I'll take the LIT one and let's do a understanding of what LIT has. So again, this is a Global X ETF, and let's see what all are the holdings. So yeah, these are like I believe this Albemarle is like a lithium mining company. Then we have Samsung, which is again we all know about Samsung. So it has a battery sector also, battery side business also. Panasonic is another one. Tesla creates its own battery, so that is another one thing. BYD, I think this is the biggest battery maker. I believe this is based on China. And we have LG Chemicals and all those things. So again, this is another good play if you want to give some exposure to battery side of things. Again, let's do a comparison for the two battery ETFs. So as you can see, the LIT ETF looks like the stronger one out of these two. So LIT ETF has, you can see it has gone to 165% in comparison to what is happened in April. And battery also is done well. It has gone to 156%. But you can see in the last few, probably 6 to 7 months, LIT ETF has overpowered BATT. But you can see the overall bullishness of this sector. So even if you have picked up the battery ETF, you would have a very good appraisal for your capital. So that's all for this sector and this booming play. So that's all for today's video, guys. See you guys all for next video, and that will be the last video for booming sector ETFs. Bye bye, guys. Thank you.